Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome once again to the United Regional Chamber's weekly update. We try to bring you on some interesting guests, talk about some interesting subjects from around the area. And this week, I'm joined by Mr. Scott Langill, North Attleboro firefighters, and he's here to talk about Kids Day, this fabulous tradition that he'll tell us how many years here in a second, that it draws thousands of people, and it is just an enjoyment for everybody in the local communities. So, Mr. Scott, how are you?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
Good. First off, tell us about Scott.
So I'm born and raised in North Attleboro. I grew up here. I work for the town now. I don't think there's any other towns out there. I'm just kidding. I do get outside the gates of North Attleboro, but I married with two kids who are actually teenagers now. And I've been a member of the North Attleboro Firefighters Kids Day Association since 1997. And it was nice, I get to enjoy it as a kid growing up because it's been around almost as old as I am. And then it's also was nice because my kids grew up with it and they still love to go and help out down there. So that's a little bit about myself in a nutshell.
Well, number one, we thank you for the firefighters' job that you and your team do all the time. We really appreciate it. But we really appreciate you this past month because of all the hard work that goes into putting Kids Day together. Um, some people just don't understand, you know, all the details and everything that's involved. So tell us how it started.
So Kids Day started in 1981, I believe. Was the actual first official Kids Day, or they called it Frontier Night at the time. Um, and what it was they took over a group of firefighters took over a group, the Kiwanis Club. They had a Oktoberfest, and they stopped doing that. So the firefighters wanted to do this group of firefighters. There's about four of them. They wanted to do something for the community to keep some kind of festival going. But they also kind of incorporated, they said, hey, let's raise money for people who are less fortunate. And that's how Frontier Night was kind of developed. And it included, a night of some games, raffle prizes, a bonfire, and a night of fireworks. It was only a couple of nights. I think it was only a weekend actually at the time, and then as time grew, it became more and more popular. So they added a couple more nights to it, total out four nights, and they kept the bonfire on Friday night for many years, and then they had the fireworks on Saturday night. And at some point, we decided that building a bonfire every year was just a little more labor intensive. Why not just hire the fireworks company to come in and set their stuff up and have them do all the work? And people like fireworks, and it's a little safer, anyways, than having brands flying all over town. So that's kind of how that came about. So we raised money for charity, and over the years, we've had some tough years because of maybe weather. Weather plays a big role in our event. And we've had some great years due to the weather. So it kind of washes here and there. But over the years, we've raised hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'd probably be willing to bet we've raised over more than $1 million over the years to
Without a doubt.
actually,
Without a doubt.
yeah. Um,
And tell us some of the organizations that benefit from those charities funds.
so it's a long list of organizations. I'll give you an example. Several years ago there was it was really tough for people to buy oil for heating.
Yep.
I don't know. I'm sure some of your listeners probably know John and Sherry Rhino. Sherry sadly passed away this year. But John was the selectman in town, and his wife Sherry had a group that helped with heating assistance for elderly people, or not just elderly people, but families in general that couldn't afford to put oil in the tank when times were really tough. So after our event, we decided, one year we were going to donate a substantial amount of money to their event, to their organization. But we also donate to cancer funds. We donate to people raising money for medical research for some sort of condition that maybe a family member has. We've helped people build wheelchair ramps for their house if somebody's incapacitated, or they can't use their legs anymore or something to that effect. We do all sorts of different things, and then we donate to families in need. Every donation is pretty much anonymous. We don't talk about it in public. We deal with it in our private meetings. We decide who gets the money and how it's get donated out. We vet every donation request we get. We vet it very extensively, actually, because there's a lot of people out there, unfortunately, that like to prey on organizations like ours, and
Yes.
they'll do whatever they can to get a free dollar. So every bit of money we donate out, we know that it's going to a worthy cause and not just somebody just looking for a free handout.
I've been around the area for a long time, and I've seen the thousands of families that you folks have helped in many, many different situations. And, the food pantries and everything else. You guys have just been so hardworking and generous. But let's talk a minute about the hard work. Tell us a little bit about what's involved in setting this up.
So it's really a year round thing for us. So we have a 4 day event, which is our main event, our main fundraising event, and that we start planning for that right after the previous event. So last year, when our event ended, we were already talking about this year's event and things we can do differently, or what worked good last year, or what didn't. So it goes in. It's a whole year long thing for us. But a lot of people just see our 4 day event, and that's all that they know. And that, in and of itself, takes quite a long time and a lot of work to set up. We have our event at the middle school on Landry Ave in North Attleboro in the front field. Um, and we're gracious for the school department to allow us to do that, and the town and all their help. But we gotta get all our permits in. We gotta get all our the ride schedule, the fireworks schedule, all that stuff has to be situated and ready to go. Otherwise, we wouldn't be able to hold our event. So it's very labor intensive for a lot of us on the committee. So yeah, we work very hard. I say those guys work really hard. I'm just the face.
You're just the pretty face, right?
That's it. But the hard work comes from all the individuals on the committee, and we wouldn't be able to have this event without them.
No, and I've had conversations with a few of them here and there, and it is. I plan a lot of events through the chamber. We do a lot, so I know what some of the details are. But yours is such a large event, a 4 day event. You've got to man it. You've got to make sure that all the safety protocols are in place. There's an awful lot involved. So a huge thank you to you and the team. Speaking of the team, you mentioned earlier that it started out with just 4 firefighters. How many guys are on your committee now?
So it's interesting. It started out with 4 firefighters. It grew to probably 20 or 30 different firefighters helping out over the years. And it's funny because it went kind of the other way now. We have most of the people on our committee aren't on the fire department. They're just friends of us that have wanted to get involved over the years. So a lot of us are from town and have a vested interest in running this organization. I would say there's probably back down to about 4 or 5 firefighters that are on the actual committee right now. The rest are all, your next door neighbor, basically, people from all over. And we've had the same group of people for probably the last 20 or so years or more. And we work good together, and we love this tradition. We love being able to give the money back to the community, to the people who need it the most.
And I think that you involve some youth groups around it to help set up and things like that, don't you?
We do. So it, we get the high school football team, cheerleaders. The band has been involved with us, and a bunch of other groups that involve youths throughout the community. They come down and help us with our event. The football team comes down and unloads our trailers for us, and they help us set everything up. We have everything set up in probably 2 days, and then that's the big stuff. And then there's a lot of little things. A lot of our committee members have trades. They know electrical work, they know construction. We have plumbers, all that sort of stuff. So all that that it's great to have those people because they come in and do all that stuff. But yeah, the youths, like the football team and the cheerleaders work all weekend. They're down there hard, very hard work, waiting on people at our booth, at our food booth, and they're great. Without them, it just wouldn't be possible.
No, and we just really enjoy that the youth are involved. It teaches them a little bit, shows them the goods and the bads, and your team has done that for a long, long time. Tell us about we got any fancy new rides coming this year or something new?
So we just had a meeting last night, and I was actually on duty, so I didn't stay for the whole meeting. But so I'm not sure about new rides, but a lot of the stuff that we get every year is going to be back. Um, I can tell you, we're going to have the wrestling will be there again this year. People love that. It's
Yeah.
actually 2 nights of wrestling, and then we're going to have we'll have our music stage will be set up with live music from all kinds of local bands and some bigger name bands. You're going to have a car show on Thursday night that people love the car show. Um, yeah, as far as the rides go, they bring what they bring, and I don't know if they have anything new yet. And I typically don't go on. I'm not a ride person,
Yeah, yeah. I'm
but
too old for that stuff.
but
My
they
go
are
snap,
safe.
crackle, and pop. No.
Yeah, but they are safe. I know that for a fact. So
Oh yeah, yeah. No, I brought my granddaughter, and we've had kids for many, many years. It is just a great event for everybody in the local communities. So, Scott, as we get towards the end here, any final thoughts that you'd like to share?
I just thank you guys for what you do, helping us out, get the word out. Thank you to the town of North Attleboro, the school department and board of selectmen. Sorry, the town council. I'm so used to saying board of selectmen. We
Yeah.
changed a few years ago. Town council. Everybody that helps put this together. Our committee and our volunteers. We just like to thank everybody that's involved. We're looking forward to a great year this year. Praying that the weather holds out for us because that's kind of the big deciding factor. And we hope to see you down there.
Well, great. Scott Langill, thank you very much for taking the time to come on the show. Hopefully, we'll see an awful lot more folks there at your event this year. And if there's anything that we can do here at the Chamber, just let me know.
Great. Thank you, Jack.
All right. Big shout out again to Jim Jones and the team over there at AACS who put up with me every week. We truly appreciate that and all of the other things that AACS does for the community. So, once again, folks, thanks for joining us. Please stay safe.